I have created this little video clip in order to help those of you trying to reduce your photographs for PA Village. They have to be no larger than 30K, and that's where a lot of you run into problems. You end up with postage stamp size. First of all, here is a photo of a young Rottweiler, and if you open up your Photoshop, I happen to be using Photoshop 7.1. It's one of the older versions, but it's one I'm used to working with for years. So you open up the photograph, and you can't see the whole photograph. You have to scroll over. Oftentimes this is what you're going to see when you do open a photograph. It's very large. And one of the first things we want to do is we want to crop it. So that's the first thing. I'm going to crop this guy a little bit closer than what I normally would, but it'll give you an idea. You make sure over here, your selector tools, you select the tool that has the dotted lines in a square. And you just drag diagonally across till you have the image that you want. And you come up here and you go to File, Edit, you select Image, scroll down where it says crop your photograph. Okay, now we've reduced the size where we want it as far as appearance. If you look right at the top in this blue bar, you will see it will have your photograph, and then it will have a percent. This here indicates we're only seeing 66.7% of the photograph. So that means the photograph is really, if you went to print it out, would be much larger than what you see. So what we want to do next is we want that to read 100%. And the way we do this is we go again back up to our File menu to Image, click on Image Size. Now here you will see where it says Disregard Pixel Dimensions, this section up here. I don't use it, quite frankly, except for special occasions. Look under Document Size. It'll have the width and the height of your document. I select inches because I can visually capture in my mind the size when I'm referring inches. Pick whatever is most comfortable for you. Also make sure you have constraint proportions clicked or checked, and the resample image as checked. They should be default, so you shouldn't have to really worry about those. Okay, the width, it says it's almost 9 inches wide. Well, we want to reduce that to, let's say, about 6 inches wide. It will automatically adjust the height so the proportions are correct. Okay, come up and click OK. Now the picture is much more reasonable size, but if you notice it still says up here in the blue bar 66.7%. We want that to the actual size the photograph is going to be. So I use a command. You can do a couple of things, but I use Control and the plus sign. So just hold the Control button down if you have PC and the plus sign, and if you're running a Mac, I believe it will be Command and the plus sign. Now by hitting that one time, I have brought the picture up to 100%. This is what you're going to see when you're finished. Okay, next thing what you can do is just a little bit on the blurry side. So again, come up to your File menu and all the way over to where it says Filter. Now if you come all the way down to Filter and where it says Sharpen, okay, and scroll over just to sharpen and click it one time. Now if you notice how it did make the picture a little bit clearer. I can show you the difference here. I'll undo it. Now just watch the face or nose area and see it sharpened up. So anytime you make a mistake, and this goes for any of the computers, anytime you make a mistake, you have 2 ways to correct it. Number 1, and most important, don't continue. Immediately stop what you're doing, come up to the Edit menu and click Undo. Or in this case with Photoshop, step backward. Now if you're working in any other type of program, all you have to do is hit Control or Command Z. And by doing that, it will take you back 1 step. So if you've made a big error and you think, oh gosh, I've just messed it all up, stop what you're doing, because if you hit Control or Command Z as in zebra, it will go back 1 step. Okay, we still have a picture. It's pretty large, and just looking at it, it's probably not going to fit. So we again come up to the File menu, go to Image, come down to Image Size again, and we're going to see our resolution says it's 100 pixels per inch. That's too big. The internet, most people don't realize the internet was developed originally to display photographs and images at 72 dots per inch. When you go to a website and it seems to take forever for a photograph to load, that's where the person creating the website has used greater dots per inch or higher resolution than what the internet was truly developed for. So if you change this to 72 dpi, just put 72, dpi stands for dot per inch, and then click OK. Now there is the actual size your photograph is going to be, and that's a very nice size to show on Paw Village. But here again, how are we going to make sure it's going to be within that 30K? If you're using Photoshop, if you come down in the main file menu and you see where it says Save for Web. Now that's a section, and just a second, I have to scroll the screen over a little bit. Darn, bear with me here. Well, I just don't think I can do it. Hang on here. Okay. All right, you see two pictures. That first picture is the original picture that you're working on, and it is much larger. Actually, you can't see it, but underneath it will tell you how many what the bandwidth is, and it's 530K. Obviously, it will not work. But if you scroll over to the second one, that's what the finished item is going to look like, and it indicates down below, which you can't see. I can't scroll it down there. It indicates that, I can maybe bring it up. Okay, there we go. It indicates that it's 10.11K, and that's perfect. Okay, so coming on over to the far right, if you notice, make sure you have JPEG selected, as JPEG is the only thing that will work on Paw Village, and you have all these other options, but make sure JPEG is selected, and low quality, which if you notice, now I'll change it to medium, to high, to maximum, and you really do not see a difference in quality. Where you really want to use this is if you have text. Text, you want usually the maximum quality. Okay, everything looks okay. Don't worry about any of the other things. Just click Save. And in this case, you can name your photograph where you want to save it. You can see all Rottweilers, where you want to save it, and pick any name that you want. Click over here on Save, and your photograph has been saved. And then depending on where you save it, you can go to Paw Village and upload it, and you should have a nice large clear photograph. If you have any questions, please send an email to me. Just send it to rottweilers@pawvillage.com. I will get it and be more than glad to help you.